In our modern world, information is truly everywhere. It flows constantly around us like a vast digital river. Businesses and security experts increasingly need to tap into this flow. They use this information to make smart, informed decisions. They also rely on it to protect people, assets, and critical infrastructure. Think of it much like a detective's careful work on a complex case. These professionals meticulously look for clues scattered across various platforms. These clues, when pieced together, help them understand situations with greater clarity. This entire process is vital for progress. It helps companies navigate challenges and grow safely in a competitive landscape. It also helps keep our communities secure from a wide array of potential threats, both online and offline. Knowing how to ethically find and effectively use information is a key skill in the 21st century. It's fundamentally about being aware, prepared, and resilient in an ever-evolving and complex global environment. One powerful method for gathering such information is called OSINT. This acronym stands for Open Source Intelligence. While the term might sound technical or even a bit intimidating, the concept behind it is actually quite simple. Open source means that the information being collected is publicly available. It is not secret, classified, or hidden behind private barriers. In principle, anyone can find this information if they possess the knowledge of where and how to look for it. Intelligence, in this context, means taking this raw, often disparate public information and making sense of it. It's about connecting the dots, identifying patterns, and transforming scattered data points into useful, actionable knowledge. So, OSINT is essentially the systematic practice of collecting and analyzing publicly accessible information. This processed information is then used for a specific, defined purpose, such as enhancing security, conducting research, or making strategic business decisions. OSINT is incredibly important and valuable for a multitude of reasons across various sectors. For dedicated security teams, for instance, it helps to identify potential threats and vulnerabilities. This proactive approach is often called threat intelligence. By monitoring open sources, they can spot emerging risks before these risks escalate into significant problems or damaging incidents. Businesses frequently use OSINT for comprehensive due diligence. This process involves thoroughly checking out potential business partners, new investments, or even prospective employees. It helps them avoid making bad deals, prevent reputational damage, or onboard individuals who might pose a risk. Law enforcement agencies also heavily rely on OSINT in their investigations. Publicly available information can provide crucial leads, corroborate evidence, or help locate individuals of interest. Furthermore, companies utilize OSINT for market research, allowing them to learn about competitors, industry trends, and evolving customer needs and preferences. So where exactly does all this valuable public information come from? The sources are numerous and diverse. Websites are a tremendously large source. This includes news organization sites, official company websites, industry-specific forums, and personal or professional blogs. Social media platforms like X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, are also key repositories of information. People often share a significant amount of information publicly on these platforms, sometimes without fully realizing its potential intelligence value or how it could be aggregated. Public records represent another goldmine for OSINT practitioners. Think about court documents, property ownership records, business registration filings, and patent databases. Academic papers, scientific research reports, and detailed online maps can also provide incredibly valuable data for analysis. Even photographs and videos shared online can contain important visual clues or metadata. The real skill in OSINT lies in knowing how to effectively find, meticulously filter, critically verify, and then ethically analyze this vast ocean of available information to extract meaningful insights. Let's consider a clear, real-life example of OSINT in practical use. Imagine a dedicated cybersecurity team working diligently for a large multinational corporation. Their primary job and constant focus is to protect the company's valuable digital assets and sensitive data from cyber threats. They might regularly use OSINT techniques to search the internet, including the dark web, for any mentions of their company on known hacker forums or illicit marketplaces. They are specifically looking for leaked employee credentials, discussions about potential vulnerabilities in their systems, or any chatter that might indicate an impending attack. They might also carefully review the public social media profiles of employees. This is done because sometimes employees, often unintentionally, can accidentally share sensitive company information or details about internal projects online. If this OSINT work uncovers a potential threat or a serious vulnerability, the cybersecurity team can then act swiftly to mitigate the risk and strengthen their defenses, preventing significant financial or reputational damage. Now let's shift our focus slightly from general information to the world of money and finance. Banks and other financial institutions also gather a lot of information. One absolutely key concept for them is understanding the source of funds, which is often abbreviated as SOF. This simply means, where did the specific money for a particular transaction actually come from? For example, if you walk into a bank and attempt to deposit a very large sum of cash into your account, the bank has a regulatory and ethical obligation to ask about its origin. It's crucial to understand that SOF is not about your total wealth or your entire financial history. Instead, it's focused specifically on that particular amount of money involved in that single transaction. Is the money from your regular monthly salary? Did you recently sell something valuable like a car or some stocks? Perhaps it was a legitimate gift from a family member. Banks and other financial institutions take the verification of source of funds very seriously. There are several crucial reasons for this stringent approach. Primarily, it helps to prevent money laundering. Money laundering is the illicit process where criminals attempt to make dirty money obtained from illegal activities like drug trafficking or fraud appear clean by passing it through the legitimate financial system. By carefully checking the source of funds for large or unusual transactions, banks can identify and report suspicious activities. This also helps to combat terrorist financing. Authorities worldwide are keen to stop money from flowing to extremist groups or individuals involved in terrorism. Understanding SOF helps protect the bank itself from becoming unwittingly involved in fraud, facing severe legal penalties or suffering reputational harm. It ensures they comply with strict national and international regulations designed to keep the entire financial system safe and secure for everyone. So what are some common legitimate sources of funds that banks encounter daily? It could very well be your monthly salary, paid by your employer for the work you do. It might be the proceeds from selling a significant asset, such as your car, a piece of property like a house or shares in a company. Perhaps the money is an insurance payout you received after an accident or damage to your property, or it could be funds received from a legal settlement. Banks check this information by asking you to provide proof. This proof comes in the form of official documentation. For salary income, you might need to show recent pay stubs or a copy of your employment contract. For a property sale, you would typically provide the signed sale agreement or deed transfer documents. If the funds are a gift, a formal letter from the donor explaining the gift, along with their details, might be required by the bank. Providing clear, verifiable documents makes the entire SOF process much smoother and quicker for everyone involved. Beyond scrutinizing individual transactions through source of funds checks, banks sometimes need to look at the much bigger financial picture of a client. This is where the concept of source of wealth, often abbreviated as SOW, comes into play. SOW is distinctly different from SOF. As we've discussed, SOF is concerned with the origin of money for one specific transaction. In contrast, SOW is about understanding how a person or a family has accumulated their entire net worth over a considerable period. It seeks to answer the broader question: how did this particular individual or their family build their overall fortune and financial standing over time? It's a more comprehensive inquiry into their complete economic profile, their financial history, and the various activities that contributed to their assets. This deeper understanding helps the bank assess the overall legitimacy and plausibility of a client's accumulated assets and financial position. Banks are particularly interested in establishing the source of wealth for certain categories of clients. This scrutiny often includes very wealthy individuals, sometimes referred to as high net worth individuals, or HNWIs, who have substantial assets under management. It also critically applies to individuals known as politically exposed persons, or PEs. PEPs are individuals who hold or have recently held Prominent public positions, such as senior government officials, high-ranking politicians, judges or military leaders, as well as their close family members and associates. These individuals are generally considered to have a higher potential risk of being involved in activities like bribery, corruption, or the misappropriation of state funds due to their position and influence. Understanding their SOW in detail helps banks manage these elevated risks effectively and responsibly. It ensures that the wealth they hold wasn't accumulated through illicit means or abuse of power, which is a cornerstone of global anti-money laundering and anti-corruption efforts. People build their wealth in many different legitimate and verifiable ways. There are several common and accepted sources for wealth accumulation. Consistent income earned from regular employment, diligently saved and prudently invested over many years, is a very common path for many individuals. Significant profits generated from owning and successfully operating a business or multiple businesses represent another major source of substantial wealth for entrepreneurs. Many people also grow their net worth considerably through astute investments in various financial markets, including stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or through acquiring and developing real estate properties. An inheritance received from family members, often passed down through generations, can also contribute significantly to an individual's overall net worth. Sometimes a large one-off event like winning a substantial lottery prize, receiving a significant legal settlement, or the successful sale of a highly valuable asset like a tech company or a valuable patent can be the primary source of wealth. Verifying a client's source of wealth typically requires more in-depth checks and a wider range of documentation than verifying the source of funds for a single transaction. Banks will request various documents that can substantiate the client's narrative of how their wealth was accumulated over time. For established business owners, this could mean providing audited financial statements for their company covering several years, demonstrating profitability and growth. Personal and business tax returns filed over an extended period can also show a pattern of income generation and asset growth, providing a clear financial history. Legal documents such as a validated will, probate records, or grant of administration can serve as proof of an inheritance. Similarly, official deeds for property sales or comprehensive contracts for business sales are also crucial pieces of evidence to support SOW declarations. The ultimate goal for the bank is to piece together a clear, consistent, and credible picture of how the client's total wealth was legitimately made and maintained. It is very important to clearly remember the key difference between these two financial concepts. Source of funds, or SOF, and source of wealth, or SOW, are certainly related as both deal with the origins of money, but they are quite distinct in their scope and application. Source of funds, or SOF, takes a close look at the specific origin of money being used for a particular transaction or a series of related transactions. You can think of it as zooming in with a magnifying glass on one single financial event to ask, where did this specific amount of cash or these particular funds come from right now? Source of wealth, or SOW, on the other hand, represents the much bigger panoramic picture. It examines how a person's total economic status and overall net worth were achieved and built up over an extended period, often many years or even decades. It delves into the journey of their financial accumulation. Understanding these concepts, OSINT for information gathering and SOF and SOW for financial transparency, is absolutely vital for modern businesses to operate safely and ethically. It's not just about banks and financial firms anymore. Many different types of companies are now applying these principles in various ways. OSINT, for example, helps businesses of all sizes understand their specific market landscape, keep an eye on competitors, and identify potential operational or reputational risks before they escalate. A thorough knowledge of SOF and SOW requirements helps businesses, especially those operating within the financial sector or dealing with large transactions, to conduct their operations ethically and in full compliance with the law. These rules and regulations are specifically designed to prevent financial crime, protect the integrity of the financial system, and ensure fair practices. By being diligent in these areas, businesses can avoid becoming inadvertently involved in illegal activities. These checks and balances involving OSINT, SOF and SOW play a much larger and more significant role in protecting our society as a whole. They are essential tools in the ongoing global fight against sophisticated financial crime. This includes concerted efforts to tackle complex money laundering schemes, which often fuel other dangerous criminal enterprises such as drug trafficking, human trafficking, and organized crime. It also critically involves cutting off the financial pipelines that fund terrorist organizations and extremist activities around the world. By meticulously verifying where money comes from for specific transactions, or SOF, and how an individual's overall wealth has been built, or SOW, financial institutions and authorities add crucial layers of security and transparency to the financial ecosystem. This diligence helps to maintain the integrity and stability of our international financial systems, fostering trust and confidence. When financial systems are kept clean, transparent, and resilient against abuse, everyone in society ultimately benefits from increased stability and security. In conclusion, information, when gathered and used responsibly, is an incredibly powerful tool for enhancing both security and business success in today's interconnected world. Open source intelligence, or OSINT, clearly demonstrates how publicly available data can be transformed into valuable insights that inform critical decisions. The rigorous checks for source of funds and source of wealth ensure that financial dealings are conducted with transparency and legitimacy, reducing the space for illicit actors. Being clear, honest, and able to provide verifiable proof about where money comes from and how wealth is accumulated is absolutely crucial. It helps protect individuals and businesses from potential harm, legal repercussions, and reputational damage. It also safeguards the broader financial system from abuse by those who seek to exploit it for criminal purposes. Ultimately, these practices build essential trust between institutions and their clients and contribute significantly to creating a safer, more secure economic environment for all participants.